Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time. I have not created any of the video. It's around more than a year, but let's start with one more activity. I got many requests to create a video on for each activity in SOA. So let's take a real-time scenario example. Let's say we have an employees table. I am using the HR schema from local database. In that employees table, we have the employees information. So if I show you here, for example, select star from employees where department ID is equal to 60. So I have the employees data for this department as well as for other departments. Now what I want to do is I want to work on each of these records, record by record. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to add 200 rupees or let's say 300 rupees to their salaries. And I want to work on each and every record one by one in SOA. So for that, we will be using the for each activity. In that for each activity, we will show how we can use the sequential execution as well as how we can use of parallel execution in for each. And for the scenario, we will take the data from this employee table and we will add 200 rupees to their salaries. And then we will import that data to another table, which is employees underscore updated underscore salary. So let's go ahead and try to create this composite. So this is SOA 12C. As you all are aware, I will create a new project, which is a SOA project. Let's give it a name of for each demo. Okay. And let's create a composite with Beeple. Okay, so we will give the name as Beeple process. Let's use a synchronous Beeple. This is input and output, and let's press OK. So as of now, I will close this Beeple and let's go to the XSD. This is the XSD created for this particular Beeple. And here the process and process response got created. So I'll just change the variable name. I will make it as department underscore ID because we will be querying the data based on department ID, and result, let it be result only. And I'll save it. So now here we need the first database from which we will be querying the records from employees table. So let's right click over here, go to insert and go to database. I will give it a name as read data. Next. And this is the JNDI name. So I have shared my another videos, how you can create the JNDI, how you can configure Oracle database. So you can check out in my previous videos. And I have connected to local DB. Let me just test the connection. It's working fine. So next, and here we will be polling the data, right? So I will click on select. Next, we will import the table here. So we are going to take the data from employees table. So let's query it. We have this employees table here. Click on OK. So the table got imported. Next, these are the relationships. So if we will not remove them, we will get the data for these things as well, which we do not want. So I'm going to remove these relationships in this table. And that's it. Click on next. So these are all the values we will be getting from this employees table. Employee ID is a unique ID here, basically the primary ID. Click on next. So here it got created. Now here, let's add one parameter. Name will be department ID. So here you need to change the query. So here the query will become something like this. And what we can do is this parameter value, we can copy and we can paste it over here. Yeah. So we are querying the data from employees table based on the department ID, where department ID is equal to whatever you will pass in the parameter, right? Click on next, next. This also next and finish. So we are ready to read the data. Now we need to have one more database adapter, which will be importing the data to our new table. So I will give it a name as write data, and same JNDI because this table is also in the same schema. Next, and here we will insert only. We will be using insert only. Again, import tables. So we are going to insert into employees updated salary in this table. Click next. So the table got imported. We will use employee ID as a primary key. That's it. So we are done with this. Let's fire the people with write data as well as read data. And let's go inside. Let's save it as well. Okay. So now first we need to take the data from read data, because from here we are going to get the data, right? So let's use the invoke here and wire it to read data. This also we can name it as get data. Okay. And we need to create a variable here, because this variable will be used to use the department ID. We will be sending the department ID to employee table to get the data, right? So let's give it as get data input variable. And as an output, we will get all the information. So we will name it as get data output variable. Apply and OK. So we are good to receive the data. Now, first we need to assign the department ID, right? Till now we are just getting the data, but we need to use the assign activity to assign that department ID based on which we will get the data, correct? So let's use the assign activity. So here if you see in the inputs, we are passing the department ID, correct? Here is the department ID. This we will be using to get data input variable, in which we have the parameter as department ID. So we will map it. Just apply and OK. So we are good with this. Let's change the name also. We will give it as assign department ID. Apply and OK. So we are good with this. We got the data. Now, after getting the data, we want to work on each and every record, right? So for that, we will be using for each. So here we have the for each. Just drag and drop it here. This is how this block comes. We go to the for each. This is the name. Let's make it as for each only. This is the counter name. So what is a counter name? For example, if you have worked on another programming language, the way we have for loop, first we need to initialize it. So for example, variable I we will take. So I is equal to 1, then I till less than equal to a particular value, for example, 10 or 15, and then I plus plus. So that I is a counter here. So let's give the I as n. And here it shows whether you want to use the parallel execution or whether you want to go for sequential execution. So as of now, let's go for sequential execution. In the counter value, this is like the initial start value of the counter. So start value, you can give it as 1 and make sure to select the expression language as XPath. Otherwise, it will not work properly for you. In this, it is asking for the final value. So the final value is like, see, we are getting the employees data from employee table. We can get any number of employees, right? So let's give it a XPath, which will count the number of employees at the runtime. So we will go here, use the count, and inside the count, what we will do is, yeah, here you can see get data output variable. From the get data output variable, if I'll go inside and if I'll check, you can see this is a repeating element, right? So inside the collection, so I'm going to use this element to count the number of employees came when I pass the department ID, and this will work as a final count for me in the for each. Okay. I'll click on OK button, and we are done with this. Let's click on apply and let's click on OK. So now we are getting each and every record. So after that, what we want to do is we want to add basically 200 to their salaries, and then we want to insert it to the another table, right? So first let's use the invoke activity to call the another DB. Here is the invoke activity, and here we are going to write the data. So let's give it a name as write data. Okay. Here also we need to have an input variable so that we can assign the values to that and we can insert the data. So as of now, let's use the same variable, but later on we need to change it. I'll tell you why. I'll click on apply and okay. This is we are done. Okay. So now the assignment is left inside the for each. So let's go ahead for assignment. So let's give it a name as assign data. We are going to assign copy rule. So here is the main scenario. Now what we need to do is we need to assign the record from employees table to the new table named as employee updated salary for each record of employee, right? So we are already inside the for each block. So now inside the for each block, first we need to create a variable inside for each. Okay. So here we will create a variable and go for create variable, go to message type, search, again go to the message types, partner links. Okay. And this we are creating to write the data. So go inside the write data, again inside the message type, and this particular message type is coming from the new table which we created. So we are going to use this message type to create the variable. Click on plus button, apply, and okay. So here if you see inside the process, these are the variables you were able to see normally, and this is inside the for each which we created. So here you can see these are all the column names of the new table where we are going to insert the data for each employee of the data which we get from employee table. So here let's go to the employee table that we will get in the variables. In the variables, get data output variable. This particular variable was getting the data for us, right? So here we have everything. So first let's assign employee ID to employee ID. Then first name to first name, last name to last name. Salary we have over here. Let's assign the salary, and let's assign the department ID as well. So department ID. So the one catch which is here, we need to use the counter variable so that inside the for each, this assign activity will come to know which particular value you want to assign. What I mean to say is here you need to use the counter. The employees was the repeating element for us, right? So here I need to assign the counter value. What was the counter? If I'll go for the for each, this n you can see this I have created as one counter. If I'll click over here, this $n. So this is like variable counter variable. Okay. So let's use it. So this I need to do for every record. Basically, the way it works in another programming languages, the ith element we are assigning basically. Okay. In the salaries, I said I want to add 200 or something rupees. So let's add 200 over there. So we are done here. So this part need to be taken seriously. You cannot assign the variables directly over here. Inside of for each, you need to create a variable of message type for that particular file or that particular DB where you want to import the data or where you want to assign the data. Then use the counter variable over here and then assign the values. Then only this for each activity will work for you. Okay. Now let's click on apply and okay. Before clicking to this OK, whatever the variable we have created inside the for each, this we are going to use in the invoke activity. I'll show you how. Here inside the invoke activity, I created one variable, but we are not going to use that because we did not assign data to this. We assigned the data for that variable which we created. So inside this for each, you can see I created a variable one, right? I'll use this variable because this variable will be keep on updating. Every time the for each will be running, for every counter value, the data will get assigned as a new data to this variable, and that we will be inserting to the database. This is also one more catch here. Let's apply and OK. So we are done. Let's save it. And I will deploy it to the server. Let's check the deployment. It will be running here. Yeah, so as of now, you can see the deployment got finished. So let's go to the enterprise manager, go to deployed composites. So here we have our composite for each demo. Before running it, I'll make it to the development mode so that I can see the data for assign activities and transformations and all. Okay, before running it, let me show you this. This is my table where we are going to insert the data. As of now, data is not here. So let's take the data for employee ID as, let's take for 90. So here you can see we have 3 record, and we will take this data, add 200 rupees to the salary for each record and put it over here. Okay. So let's run this. I'll click on this test button. And here I can pass the department ID as 60 and test the web service. It is successfully completed. Launch flow trace. So let's go to this. Okay, I passed the value as 60, right? Not 90. That is fine. Yeah, so inside 60, you can see 5 records were there. That is why it came as 5. And let's go to the flow trace again. What is happening inside the for each, you can see every time the data got assigned. Okay. See, this is for first record, and data got assigned to the database table, second record, third record, fourth, and fifth. So this is the sequential execution. If I'll search this table for you, we have got the data over here. Let me just check it. What was the salary for David? Yeah, so for David, it was 4,800. For all these 48, 48, 42. So that is why the data got assigned over here. Now let's go ahead and check the parallel execution, how we can execute this request parallelly. And this is one of the interview questions as well, how we can do the parallel execution in SOA. Okay. So let's go back to this Beeple, go back to this for each activity, and I'll click on this parallel execution, apply, and OK. Just save it, and I'll redeploy it. So the deployment is finished again. Let me do one thing. I'll delete the data from this table. It was deleted. Let's commit it. And again, we will use the 60 only. Department ID as 60. Okay. So let's go to the composite once again. It's still in development phase. Let's test it. And I'll pass the department ID as 60 once again. I'll test the web service. Yeah, let's launch the flow trace. So here, if I'll show you now, you can see here, this is called the parallel execution. This is not sequential. For every record, SOA is working parallelly in one shot. So this is how you can execute in the parallel manner. Now, again, if I'll show you the data in this particular table, you can see the data got inserted. Okay. So when I was performing this activity, the major issue which I faced, which I would like to highlight again and again, the only tricky part in this particular project is while you are assigning the data, make sure you are creating a variable inside this for each. Whatever the for each got created, here you need to create a variable and assign the values to this particular variable. Do not assign directly values over here and use this counter. Apart from that, everything is fine. And whatever the for each variable you created, make sure the same variable you are using while you are invoking any of the DB or any of the file adapter again and again. So this is how you can create a project or a demo for each activity. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, and I can see there are very less subscribers to this channel. So please subscribe to this channel and share it with your colleagues. Thanks for watching. Thank you so much.